Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Fans YouTube channel. It has taken way too long for me to make this video because it is now the following Tuesday and NXT is tonight. But I'm here to give my NXT reactions from last week. It's as simple as this. I've just not watched it, so now I have today. And again, I made the mistake of not watching NXT and SmackDown for ages, and then I've watched them both today, and I'm like, I was thoroughly entertained. But regardless, hair on my screen. Let's talk. Right, so first, I like to talk non-title stuff first. So we had Lexis King made his in-ring return against Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne's kind of going as a solo superstar now. He's got his own theme. He's now got a hand thing that he does, like crocodile. They're calling it like the gator something. I don't know, right? A bit silly, but they're trying to push Miles Bourne as a solo superstar, and they're kind of using the Jey Uso formula of just getting something over and running with it. Don't know if it'll work. Miles Bourne himself will work, but Lexis King was back, and I say back to in-ring action because he's in shape. He's slimmed down a bit, and he's very quick, I'll be honest. There was no point in the match. I mean, literally last week, it was more of a promotion thing. I mean, he insulted some NBA players, and Miles Bourne wasn't taking that, and it just beat him in a match. But again, I suppose they're just pushing Miles Bourne, aren't they? Then we had a segment from Newcastle Republic. Obviously, last week Tavion Heights had to face Javon Evans, and Tavion wants to go solo from Newcastle Republic. Newcastle Republic? No Quarter Catch Crew. Or New Quarter Catch Crew. I'm thinking of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, God. There's that many names out there, God. Forgive me. Charlie Dempsey does not want Tavion Heights to leave, and last week, obviously, he failed that opportunity. Tavion said he wants another one, and he should face Charlie Dempsey, and Charlie Dempsey said, fine, but if you lose, this conversation never happens again. So that's a match we're getting next week, which is interesting. I'm there for it. We had another match that was random, Thea Hale versus the woman from Evolve, and I forgot what her name is. Lainey Reed, that's her name. And again, this is building off the back of Thea Hale losing the week before, or 2 weeks before, to Jada Parker, when Jada Parker tapped, but the ref didn't see it. Thea thought she won, and then she lost. So this was building off of that again. At the end of this match, well, Lainey Reed grabbed the rope on the pin, but also Thea Hale grabbed the rope as in terms of a rope break. Referee saw none of it, and Thea Hale lost the match as a result of this. This is probably going to be a story they're going to run with. Thea Hale's going to keep getting cheated out of matches because she's not, she's being too fair, and, she's not playing the game well enough. And then she's probably going to have a heel turn or some sort of comeback, is what I'm guessing is going to happen. As for Women's North American title picture, I mean, there's not really been a solo picture for the title itself. There's been more storyline surrounding Sol Ruca and Zarya and Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. Now, obviously, we know NXT have been trying to put Tatum Paxley with Izzy Dame in the culling, and Thea Hale and Zarya, not Thea Hale, Sol Ruca and Zarya have sort of been saying, look, Tatum, they're not good. It showed us a clip after the match last week when Izzy lost, and they were saying, look, Izzy's not good, the culling's not good, you shouldn't do that. And that's when Izzy Dame came along and manipulated Tatum and convinced her to team up with that. They teamed up in a tag match, and they beat Zaruka in the tag match. And Tatum's just basically a full-on member of the culling now, which I back 100% because she will work for that. Her character fits it. But also, the ending of the match, Tatum Paxley saved Izzy Dame, causing Zarya to hit Sol Ruca with a spear. And what Izzy Dame, Izzy Dame's already manipulated Tatum Paxley, and that's the whole point of the calling, is they're quite manipulative. Well, now they've took the narrative of Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley's friendship being a bit shaky, and there, you kind of trust Izzy Dame, and they've flipped it to tension between Zarya and Sol Ruca to make it look like you can't trust Zarya, because Zarya has now hit Sol Ruca by accident, obviously. And we know NXT are going to go down the route of Zarya taking the North American title. But now I'm kind of thinking about it, and Izzy Dame might be the next challenger. And because of this, Izzy Dame's newfound power, they're pushing her, They're pushing the culling. They're adding Tatum Paxley. They're turning Zarya on Sol Ruka. Maybe Zarya costs Sol Ruka the title match against Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame's your next champion, and we have a big Zarya Sol Ruka feud. Maybe that's what I'm getting from that. So, you know, it is what it is. As for the NXT North American title scene, I mean, Ricky Sainz and Ethan Page are still feuding, and Ethan Page has fully aligned himself with Swipe Right, only it's not called Swipe Right anymore, it's called something else, something dumb. It was a dumb faction anyway, but he's aligned himself with them, and what we found out is next week, Ricky Sainz gets to face all three of them, not including Ethan Page, in a gauntlet match, and when Ricky Sainz wins, which obviously he's going to win, he gets to pick the stipulation for their match, for the NXT North American title. It is what it is, I suppose. And then we have... what's next? NXT Tag Title Division. I believe, well, they've already promoted that next week we were going to get a match for the tag titles, only I can't remember who it was. Oh, no. Yeah, that's right, I can't remember who it was. Someone is getting tag title opportunity next week. It's probably bad that I don't remember, but it's completely gone from my memory. No, it's not Dark State. I thought maybe it might be Dark State, but it's not Dark State. Regardless, we did, we had TNA World Champion Trick Williams on TV, but he wasn't in a match. His challenger, Joe Hendry, was in a match on NXT because he said, Trick likes to show up to TNA whenever he wants. I'll show up to NXT whenever I want, which is weird because Joe Hendry was already doing that as TNA World Champion. If anyone has a right to show up to both brands, it's Trick because he was an NXT superstar who became TNA Champion. You were the TNA superstar, TNA Champion, and showed up at NXT. Makes no sense. But he had a match with Wesley, and he beat Wesley. Tyson and Tyreek will get involved. That's when Mike Santana tried to help. And next week we're getting Mike Santana, Joe Hendry against High Rise. Now to add to that, really, it's pretty self-explanatory. Most of these things are just, what I like about NXT is it's just matches, it's just straight matches. There's no extra thinking that goes into these things, and I love that. That's great like that. I remember who the challengers are for the NXT tag titles. It's the Culling. The Culling are getting a shot. Maybe the Culling might win them because they're not doing anything with Hank and Tank. I mean, they're showing their disinterest and they're pushing the Culling. Maybe the Culling win the tag titles. Maybe it's because of Izzy Dame, and Izzy Dame's proven how good she is. But we don't know till next week. I'm fine with Hank and Tank retaining though, so that would be fine. As for the NXT women's title picture, I mean, they closed the show with a promo battle between Jordan Grace and JC Jane and Blake Monroe. Is that what they call her? And it ended in a fight. And then they said at the Great American Bash, there's going to be a tag team match, Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe against JC Jane and Fallon Henley. And I believe the Great American Bash is the night before Evolution. And at Evolution, Jordan Grace is facing JC Jane. So I'm going to guess that maybe there's tensions between Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace, and then I'll do that in a prediction video. But yeah, I like that. We're getting Great American Bash because they are NXT superstars still, and then Evolution next night. I'm not gonna complain. Working double duty. Jordan Grace is gonna be new NXT Women's Champion. Knows all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. And finally, the NXT title picture. We had Yoshiki Inamura beat Jasper Troy. I will forever get his name right now because I used to call him Travis McCoy, which is so embarrassing. Jasper Troy got beat by Yoshiki Inamura, which could be bad for Jasper, but it's more good for Inamura. We're just trying to push as many challengers as we can for Oba's NXT title because he's got no major storylines. There's no major superstars in NXT right now that are focused on the NXT title. Like I said, they put Javon out of the picture. Trick Williams sort of focusing on TNA. Our biggest stars besides Oba are like Ethan Page and Ricky Sainz, and they're in the North American title picture. What are we doing? But this is what I liked because Inamura won, and Inamura earned his shot. I don't know if he's getting that next week or if he's getting it at Great American Bash, which I think he's getting it at Great American Bash. But Jasper still attacked him after the match. Well, was getting up from the match, and he's still not done with Obafemi. But Javon is not done with Jasper, so Javon got involved with Jasper. And this means there's probably still another challenge from Jasper for Obafemi. There's the challenge from Inamura for Obafemi. And then somewhere down the line, Javon will once again challenge Obafemi. So we have got something to build on. We have got some sort of storyline. It's not dead in the water. It's just dying. Or maybe this is a quick revival of it. But Obafemi's a great champion. He's probably going to reign for a long time. Let this little cool period happen because it's going to be on fire at some point. You know what I mean? But very decent episode of NXT. I will not complain. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. My apologies, people. I realised I forgot to mention the whole Tony D'Angelo situation. So Luca Crucifino, after costing Tony D'Angelo the Heritage Cup match to Stacks last week, incidentally, called Tony out to the ring, and Tony said, it's interesting that you're calling me out, you know, and Luca said, I don't have to explain my loyalty to you. I've been loyal all these years when the family was a thing. That's when Stacks came out, and Luca Crucifino punched Tony D'Angelo, fully turned on him. And Stacks thought he was on his side, and then Luca turned on Stacks as well. Luca said, I'm loyal to nobody. I'm my own consigliere. And he's going on his own solo run. And I can't lie, I love it, because he's delivered good storytelling, good promo. Let them all go their separate ways. I feel like they can all do great things. And this is a great feud, I'll be honest. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So, yeah. You're welcome for this extra minute on the video. I forgot to talk about it.